As Portlanders, we love our trees. All 4 million of them. With 5,200 acres of dense tree canopy, Forest Park is the heart of our urban forest. But all of this greenery takes work.
Hi, how are you? Doing well, how are you? Good. Today, our project is going to be removing non-native invasively growing English ivy. It comes over from Europe. It kind of came over with European colonization. In its own ecosystem, it has ecological benefits, but here didn't evolve in this ecosystem, so it doesn't have the same kind of like checks and balances in its own ecosystem. And it creates like a monoculture, so not a lot of diversity because it takes over space, sunlight, nutrients from our native plants. And so as stewards of this land, we remove the English ivy and then we replant it with the diversity of native plants.
On this misty April morning, behind the magic of raindrops on a sword fern, or the mystery of a trail snaking through the woods, there are people working in the mud.
That might be a...
Also, there's some public increasing chances of it spreading and stuff, but it's not.
I think it's just keywords, but they also have separate words for things in the way that they're going to say it, so you probably...
The really nice thing about the natural area stewardship is that it basically covers the entirety of Portland. It's just a really nice way not only to volunteer, but also a really nice way to kind of explore different natural areas of Portland.
Forest Park is a really big park, and there's only about 9 plus or minus staff that work on the west side and natural areas. So 5,200 acres in just Forest Park alone is a lot to manage, and by getting volunteers involved, it's more hands on the ground. So being able to use different types of integrated pest management that don't involve things like herbicide, because we can have volunteers hand pulling. 20 or 30 people coming out can get a lot more work done than just me alone. Sometimes I'll ask that question, what brings you out? How'd you find out? What gets you involved? And I think, it varies for people wanting a way to give back, wanting a way to get outside, away from their desk, wanting to learn about the different plants and animals that are here, wanting to connect with other people, wanting to connect with this place, are all reasons that I hear.
A variety of animals live in Forest Park, including mammals, amphibians, and more than 100 species of birds. For these animals, a single tree is more than just that. It's a home. And nearly 400 of these homes are at risk of being cut down. Portland General Electric has been seeking approval to add a new transmission line and upgrade an existing line at the north end of Forest Park. They say this is urgently needed to keep up with demand and provide reliable power in Portland. Others say the habitat surrounding the transmission line area is irreplaceable.
Their proposal is to mostly remove 5 acres of habitat that we're sitting in today. So it's trees that are 150 years old. It's a diverse understory. It's a portion of the park where there are 2 free-flowing streams. And it's in a really important location of Forest Park. It's very northern tip where it connects to greater protected habitat. And so this project has significant natural resource impacts, and it is why we have opposed it for several years now. We think that PGE should be looking outside of a significant natural space, a public park, and instead be citing a project like this for increased energy reliability outside of the park and along other corridors that are just not as significant of natural resources.
It's this, I don't know, this magical haven within the city of Portland, and I think it just serves to remind that even within a super urbanized environment, it's so important to have natural areas and places where you can reground and connect to nature. And I think a lot of Portlanders really feel that with Forest Park. We saw that with how many people turned up to fight for Forest Park against PGE's proposal. We had over 300 people show up to a rally at City Hall to defend Forest Park from development. Within the same proposal, we saw over 1,300 people submit comments. Most of them were in support of protecting Forest Park. And there's just this huge community energy around Forest Park, and this feeling of connection and love for Forest Park is really palpable. Forest Park is iconic, and it's an incredibly cherished natural resource here in Portland.
For now, there's not a simple solution. People need power, but they also need places like this, where they can escape into nature at the edge of the city.
Okay, so then do you want to go woodpecker?
We could go woodpecker.
And
Dan's somewhere.
Yeah, he said they will.
J Trail. Yeah. Oh, they're on J. Okay.
And then everybody at the bridge was going to come back J, so you and I might as well go woodpecker.
Okay. We moved here 3 years ago from Wisconsin, and I worked at the Schlitz Audubon Nature Center in Wisconsin for 7 years. I just wanted some place where I could be outside. So when we moved here, I naturally wanted to do the same thing, and so ended up here and meeting all these wonderful people. And it's been just a delight every Wednesday. We just look forward to it, and being out here away from traffic and chaos is just good for the soul, good for your mind, and it just feels like you're helping in some small way to. Plus we get to meet a lot of fun people.
Oh, that's a weird looking light gun.
Being out in nature, feeling like, I've actually accomplished something, getting to see the things that I have done on the trails, and it is a sense of accomplishment that I don't really get in many other parts of my life. And I think it's also just good to be out in nature, and doing something in nature is a good excuse to get out there, and I don't know, it makes me feel better every time I do it.
Yeah, I think it's nice just to get out and be in nature. You know, you don't have to be working. You don't have to be hiking up a hill. You could just walk to one lookout and sit there for half an hour, and it would improve your day. Just that one little thing.
In 2025, the City Council unanimously voted to overturn PGE's application approval. PGE has since appealed the decision, and the fate of the trees is still unknown.
There are other species out there that benefit from having these habitats preserved, and that's a huge thing in my life, to whether I ever get out there or not, knowing that other species are better off because we've set aside places is super important.
I think we need to be thinking on an old growth forest timescale, and I think the best thing that we can do today for Forest Park is help it become that old growth forest in 100 years for the wildlife and also for the people.
No matter what happens, Portlanders will keep coming out here, pulling ivy, maintaining trails, planting seedlings, getting muddy to keep Portland green.
It takes a community to keep an area like this as thriving as it is. So we, as Portland Parks and Rec, couldn't do it without community engagement and partner engagement like Forest Park Conservancy and Bird Alliance of Oregon, along with all the other schools and businesses and community groups that come out and give their time to doing stewardship and making this place what it is.